Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today we are going to be talking about my February, I almost knocked him over, my February book haul. Remember in January when I was like, oh, look at my cute little haul. I'm so intentional. I'm going to be so good. That is not the case, and it's only February. But I have a handful of books to share with you today, and a bunch of them I kind of shared a couple of weeks ago when I did a thrifting day, and I shared my haul on that day. So some of them I'm not going to talk too much about, but some of them were sent to me. I have my book of the month books to talk about real quick, and I will kind of show you one more time what I got on that day, because some of them hopefully will make it onto my middle grade March plans for the month. So first of all, I'll talk about the 3 books that I got for book of the month in February, and I'm the most excited that The Women was on there. This is Kristen Hanna's newest book. It's set during the Vietnam War time. We follow one woman whose brother is sent over there, and then she, I think, signs up to be a nurse so that she can go as well. It's about the female side of a war, in particular the Vietnamese War, and I am very excited. I've heard such high praise for it so far, and I love Kristen Hanna's storytelling. Yay. I'm so glad about that. Then I also chose The Foxwife by Yangsze Chu. I did really like The Night Tiger by her as well, and this is also going to have kind of a Chinese fairy tale folklore emphasis. It takes place in Manchuria, 1908. Let me just read this final paragraph, which isn't exactly about a summary, but it says, Yangsze Chu brilliantly explores a world of mortals and spirits, humans and beasts, and their dazzling intersection. Epic in scope and full of singular, unforgettable characters, The Foxwife is a stunning novel about old loves and second chances, the depths of maternal love, and ancient folktales that may very well be true. That sounds so good. Yeah, I'm just very eager. I haven't heard anything about it yet. And then I have Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward. I have had the pleasure of hearing Jesmyn Ward speak. A number of years ago, she came to a library near me, and I got to go hear her. I loved Sing Unburied Sing. I also read The Men We Reaped by her. I have Salvage the Bones on my shelves. I think she's a beautiful writer. And Let Us Descend, I've heard very high praise for. A reimagining of American slavery, as beautifully rendered as it is heart-wrenching. Searching, harrowing, replete with transcendent love, this novel is a journey from the rice fields of the Carolinas to the slave markets of New Orleans and into the fearsome heart of a Louisiana sugar plantation. I trust Jesmyn Ward's writing to be beautiful, but also I feel like there's going to be some kind of supernatural element. There was in Sing Unburied Sing, which was a little strange, but I also really liked it. So we'll see. I grabbed 2 books from a thrift store just the other day when I was out with a friend of mine. These are both middle grade. I have not read anything by Gordon Corman, and every time I say that to people who teach middle grade or have read a lot of middle grade, they're surprised because apparently he's a very prolific author. So I just grabbed Gifted because it was there and it was like 50 cents. The main character is a troublemaker, pulls a major prank at his middle school. He thinks he's finally gone too far, but thanks to a mix-up, instead of getting into trouble, he's sent to the Academy of Scholastic Distinction, a program for gifted and talented students. It's not what he had intended, but there couldn't be a more perfect hideout. That is, if he can manage to fool people whose IQs are above genius level. But after an ongoing experiment with a live human, his sister, an unforgettably dramatic middle school dance, and the most astonishing come from behind robot victory ever, Donovan shows that his gifts might be exactly what the ASD students never knew they needed. Yeah, I'm eager to try something by him because he's written a ton of middle grade, and so I feel like I need to try some. Then I also just grabbed The Christmasaurus to read next December by Tom Fletcher. I've heard this is a really cute, magical kind of Christmas story, and it has really sweet illustrations all throughout it as well. Yeah, 50 cents. I couldn't resist those 2. Then I had 3 books that were sent to me. One of them I've already read. My friend Nancy in Massachusetts is a children's book author and I believe librarian. Is she in librarian too? I don't know. But she wrote this One Perfect Plan, which is the Bible story with little tiny poems. So here's the page of Noah. I think the illustrations are beautiful. Alina Chow did the illustrations. So it kind of goes through the whole Bible with creation, Noah. Here we have Joseph. Ruth and Naomi, David and Goliath, like all the way through the Bible with short little poems for each story, but then also a reference. Like if you want to read more about David, you can find it in 1 Samuel 17, 1 through 50. More about that specific story. Jesus healing people. So I just think this is a really beautifully done walk through the Bible in a very simple and like the poems are just really sweet as well. I really love this. So if you're looking for a nice gift for somebody or to add to your shelf that kind of gives you a nice overview of the Bible, One Perfect Plan, written by Nancy Tupper Lang and illustrated by Alina Chow. Thank you so much, Nancy, for sending this to me. I think it's beautiful. Well done. Tia from Genres and Journals sent me this book in response to my brother passing away. She said this really helped her when her father passed away. It's called Tolstoy and the Purple Chair, My Year of Magical Reading by Nina Sankovich. I had never even heard of this before, but it's kind of a memoir. Caught up in grief after the death of her sister, Nina Sankovich decided to stop running and start reading. For once in her life, she would put all other obligations on hold and devote herself to reading a book a day, 1 year of magical reading in which she found joy, healing, and wisdom. So we kind of hear about some of the books that she read throughout the year and how they impacted her life and her grieving process. I'm really excited about this. And excited in maybe isn't the right word, but I do feel like this could be a very powerful, moving read. Thank you so much, Tia, for thinking of me in that way. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I feel like each chapter is kind of a little bit more like an essay on its own. So I feel like I could kind of dip into it and read it little by little, which might be what I need to do. And then Elaine sent me this from my Amazon wish list, just as a thank you for my channel, which is so sweet. The Beatrice Prophecy by Kate DiCamillo. I thought I had owned this, but when I did my middle grade shelf clean out, I didn't see it. So maybe I thought about buying it at one point and I never did, but I really love Kate DiCamillo. And this is a newer one of hers. And it is kind of ancient. Oh man, look at those beautiful end papers there. So pretty. Like Middle Ages type of a story. There's one creature that the monks of the Chronicles of Sorrowing fear above all others. Answelica the goat. The monks fear her sharp teeth and her hard head and her wily ways. And so imagine Brother Edict's terror when he goes to feed Answelica one morning and finds a child in the pen with the demon goat. The child does not know where she came from. She does not know who her people are. She remembers only one thing, her name, Beatrice. The king's men, however, know who the child is, and they are searching for her. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I'm just really excited to read more Kate DiCamillo because I've read just about all her middle grade. I haven't read more of her children. She's got a children's series, Mercy Watson, and other more younger series, but I've read about all of her middle grade and I love them. So I'm very excited. This might get its way onto my middle grade March pile for the month. We'll see. And then I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because I feel like I've talked about most of them in that vlog, but I did get a couple more middle grade. I have Ruby Holler by Sharon Creech. This one follows two trouble twins, Dallas and Florida. They're orphans who don't really believe in a loving home anymore. And then enter Tilly and Sari, an eccentric older couple who live in the beautiful, mysterious Ruby Holler. They really want to go on one big adventure, one final big adventure, and they want Dallas and Florida to come with them. But first they have to stay in Ruby Holler for a little while, and the twins kind of like the magic of the place takes over. I'm very excited. I love Sharon Creech. This is a sequel. Momentous Events in the Life of a Cactus by Dusty Bowling is the sequel to Insignificant Events of the Life of a Cactus, which I do plan on reading the first one in March. I don't know if I'll get to this sequel, but now I have it if I want to. Show Me a Sign by Anne Claire Lizotte is one that I learned about last year during middle grade March. A few people were reading this one, and I love whenever there's a character with differences, and this is a character who's deaf, and she signs. Mary Lambert has always felt safe and protected on her beloved island of Martha's Vineyard. Hey, that's cool, New England. Her great-great-grandfather was an early English settler and the first deaf islander. Now, over 100 years later, many people there, including Mary, are deaf, and nearly everyone can communicate in sign language. She's never felt isolated. She's proud of her lineage. But recent events have delivered winds of change. Her brother died, leaving her family shattered. Tensions over land disputes are mounting between English settlers and the Wampanoag people. and a cunning young scientist has arrived, hoping to discover the origin of the island's prevalent deafness. His maniacal drive to find answers soon renders Mary a live specimen in a cruel experiment. Her struggle to save herself is at the core of this penetrating and poignant novel that probes our perceptions, holy alliteration, that probes our perceptions of ability and disability. Wow, I don't know that I knew that's what it was about. I really want to read that now. I got 4 books in the Sweet Magnolia series. This is the first one. I probably shouldn't have bought these ones. They're way deep in the series, but I like this edition. I didn't find this one in that edition, but this is actually the first book. So I loved the Sweet Magnolia series on Netflix. So eventually I would like to read the series. I know that it's different. I know, but it's okay. I still want to read it. I got this mystery called The Windsor Knot by S.J. Bennett. Her Majesty the Queen Investigates. So this is a mystery where the Queen is the amateur investigator, detective. Sounds fun. The Little Wartime Library by Kate Thompson. I believe this is where a library is in a bomb shelter. London, 1944. Clara Button is no ordinary librarian. While the war ravages the city above her, she has risked everything she holds dear to turn the Bethnal Green Tube Station into the country's only underground library. Down here, a secret community thrives with thousands of bunk beds, a nursery, a cafe, and a theater, offering shelter, solace, and escape from the bombs that fall upon their city. Yeah, this was on my want to read list, so I was very excited to find it at a thrift store. Harlan Coben's Fool Me Once. I talked about this. I watched the first episode of this Fool Me Once on Netflix, and then I'm like, wait, that's a book. I want to read the book first, because the first episode was so good. Oh, it was so suspenseful and made me wonder, like, where is this going? What's going to happen? So I've never read Harlan Coben yet, and I really would like to try him out. So maybe I'll do this and then I can watch the Netflix series afterwards. I've heard that all of his series that have been adapted have just been really done well. So hopefully I enjoy this book and then can enjoy the series as well. I picked up The Cartographer's Secret by Tia Cooper. Tia Cooper is an Australian author, and I read her most recent one on NetGalley. Oh man, it was something about butterflies. The Butterfly Collector, maybe? Yeah, so I really enjoyed that one and want to read more from her. So excited about that. The Dust Bowl Orphans I picked up because it has orphans in the title. But obviously this is a historical fiction set in Oklahoma in 1935 in the midst of the Dust Bowl, which is such a tough time period. I can't even imagine. I'm curious about this series, the Poldark series. I've never watched it because I knew that it was a book series. So I'm not sure if this is a Krista series or not, but I did get the first one, Ross Poldark by Winston Graham. I'm always drawn to them when I see them in thrift stores, but I have never tried it. So maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. We'll see. And then this is a proper romance because these are just lovely. This is by Sarah M. Eden, and it's The Merchant and the Rogue. In London, 1865, Vera loves reading the Penny Dreadfuls and immersing herself in tales of adventure, mystery, and romance. Her own days are filled with the often mundane work of running the book and print shop she owns with her father. The shop offers her freedom and an income, and while she's grateful for the stability it brings to life, she often feels lonely. And then we meet Brogan Donnelly, who was born and raised in Ireland, lived in London for several years. He's built a career as a penny dreadful writer. He has dedicated himself to the plight of the poor with the help of his sister. But with no one to share his life with, he fears London will never truly feel like home. And then their paths cross. The attraction is immediate and ill-advised. Vera knows from past experience that writers are never to be trusted, and Brogan has reason to suspect that not everything at Vera's print shop is above board. So that should be a fun little romance there. I picked up Girl in Disguise, and I don't remember why. Was this just kind of a rando? Usually I try not to do random picks. With no money and no husband, Kate finds herself with few choices. The streets of 1856 Chicago offer a desperate widow mostly trouble, unless that widow has a knack for spying and subterfuge. In that case, she might talk her way into becoming the first female Pinkerton detective. Well, that sounds fun. Now I want to read that. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Lord by Celeste Connolly was on my anticipated reads list last year. So this is kind of, it says Bridgerton meets Agatha Christie in this Regency era mystery. It's 1815 in London, and we follow Petra, Lady Petra, whose fiance died 3 years earlier, and she has kind of announced to the ton that she does not plan on getting married. She's going to have all of the perks of being part of society without any of the expectations. But then she hears about the death of one of her beloved friends, and who died of melancholia at the hands of this sneaky physician. But she doesn't think it sounds quite right, and she starts digging into the matter and learns about this asylum where men are able to send their wives or sisters or daughters. She finds this whole side of things at this asylum, and then there's a murder and things get pretty sticky. So it's a little bit of a mystery about this woman who doesn't think she needs a man. I am intrigued. I'm intrigued. And then I have 2 Ted Dekker books that I read a long time ago. I really do think I need to revisit Ted Dekker. I used to always say that he was my favorite, but it's been a really long time. So I have Thunder of Heaven and When Heaven Weeps. These are part of the Martyr's Song series. I don't know if it's just these 2. I don't remember. Honestly, it's been so long since I've read anything by him. But that is my book haul for February, except that I did place a book outlet order like last night. So that will be coming in another video. But I would love to hear from you. If you saw anything in this video that you're like, ooh, read that soon, Krista. Let me know. I want to know. And that's going to be it for me today. I look forward to chatting with you down in the comments, hearing your thoughts about these books, or what are some books that you have brought into your home this month. I am a little sad that I have so many books. After my book outlet haul, I'm going to pause for a little bit because I really do want to try to be intentional about my reading this year and about my purchasing. But you can't resist a thrift store and a good deal, which is where most of these came from, with store credit and just good deals. But regardless, or gifted. Thank you so much for those books that were gifted to me. These 2 and Nancy's book. So thank you so much for those. That's going to be it. I keep rambling. I'm going to be done. I'll talk to you in another video very soon. Bye.